Wait, did I do B? What, you got a pen? Start writing these down.
Power up completed.
Oh, you've got to be joking. Okay, new plan. Act natural. We've done nothing wrong.
Hello.
Oh, it's you.
You know her?
It's been a long time. How have you been?
She likes you.
I've been really busy being dead. You know, after you murdered me.
You did what?
Okay, look. We both said a lot of things that you're going to regret. But I think we can put our differences behind us. For science, you monster.
That's right, ladies and gents, it's time to take a look at one of the most anticipated titles of 2011, Portal 2. So, without further ado, let's jump right into this thing. This game starts you off as the main character from the first Portal, named Chell, as you are being violently woken up from a 100-year stasis, give or take. As you awaken, you are greeted by one of the remnant AIs named Wheatley. His goal is to help both you and himself escape from the facility. As you traverse through the ruins of the facility, you manage to snag yourself a leftover portal gun and start making your way to the exit. But if everything went as planned, this game would be way too short now, wouldn't it? On the way out, Wheatley manages to accidentally wake a familiar enemy. Yeah, you remember GLaDOS? The malicious AI that tried to kill you in the first Portal, then you ended up killing her instead? Well, she's back, but don't think she's one to hold a grudge.
You are a horrible person.
Okay, yes she is. So, with your archenemy back and angrier than ever, it's up to you to attempt to free yourself from the facility once again. Now, I would give you more details on the plot, however, this story is very well told, and I would feel very bad for spoiling anything. However, I will say that you can expect some explanations as to the origins of Aperture Science, GLaDOS, the portal gun itself, and just how the gun actually works. Also, rather than just being confined to test areas almost the entire time like the first Portal, for much of the game you will be traversing the ruins of the Aperture Science Enrichment Center. These areas are very well designed and, as you would imagine, can create some very unique puzzle opportunities. As you would imagine if you played the first Portal, all of the puzzles in the game are very cleverly put together. At first they're not too hard to figure out, then they progressively get harder as the game goes on, some of which will leave you staring at your TV for the better part of an hour. But no matter how hard, there is nothing better than the feeling you get when you solve a puzzle that you've been working on for a long time. Speaking of puzzles, this game adds many new elements to how the puzzles are to be solved, from lasers that must be reflected in order to open doors, to light bridges, to gels that can make you run fast, bounce you, or provide services for portals. Unlike the first game, which was basically just a very big mod of the source engine, this title is a full game, which had an entire developmental team working on it. Which means, instead of the 4 to 5 hour campaign from the first game, this campaign will run you roughly 10 to 15 hours. Now, I know it's a pretty big gap, but it all depends on how fast you can solve the puzzles. If you were a master of the first game, and have amazing problem-solving skills, then you may beat it in around 10. If this is the first Portal game you've ever played, you could be looking at well over 15. Probably the most noteworthy feature of the game is the multiplayer mode. This mode allows you to play as two robots, named Orange and Blue, that are challenged with solving puzzles for GLaDOS in order for her to acquire some sort of data, be it blueprints or some sort of security code. All the while, you get to hear input from her regarding your progress. For reasons unknown, probably just because she's a bitch, she tries to turn the players against each other, complimenting one of your successes, then rubbing it in the face of the other player, and vice versa. As for the multiplayer gameplay, this is where it gets interesting. In the normal campaign, you only have 2 portals to work with, but in the multiplayer, you effectively have 4. This allows for some amazing puzzle-solving segments and some massive high fives once you complete them, if you're playing locally, of course. This mode also makes communication much easier for players by allowing you to specifically mark where you would like your partner to place their portal. This feature makes playing online, or even locally, much easier as you aren't just pointing at some vague area of the TV and yelling, "No, shoot it there!" Now for the reviewing. The graphics for this game look quite similar to the first game, as they are run on the same engine. However, they are quite polished and do look very good. And amazingly, there is no lag no matter how many portals you are jumping through or at what speed. The gameplay is also great, giving you fantastic control over your movements, which allows you to play without having to worry about botching the placements of your portals. Again, I'm not going to give anything away, but as for the story, it is amazingly put together, with all the comedy and crazy moments you've come to expect from the Portal series. This all leads up to one of the most amazing conclusions I have ever seen in any video game in all of my life. Really, the only problem I can find with this game is the replay value, or lack thereof. Once you beat the campaign, normal or co-op or both, there really isn't much reason to play again. This game does have the developer commentary like in the first Portal, but there are no challenge stages. So unless you feel like playing the campaign over again for the hell of it, there really isn't much reason to play it again. But poor replay value aside, this game is definitely worth picking up. If you enjoyed the first Portal, like puzzle games, or are looking for a new experience, you must get yourself a copy of this game. Pretty soon, you'll have yourself thinking in Portals all over again, and that's one of the best feelings in the world. So, until next time, this has been E-Dog, still reviewing and still alive. See you next time.